Children learn definitely, young children definitely learn a lot by doing, not by just sitting passively, you know, and that there's so much less of that in the curriculum now.
The main advantages of home educating for us is that we get to choose what our children are taught. They have their own interests, and so we tend to follow what's called an unschooling approach, which is generally where you don't force them to do anything. You're very child-led and you let them decide what they want to learn about.
Is that a nice big mouthful for you? Is that really dry?
So, for example, she goes to a regular science class, she goes to 2 drama classes, she goes to swimming, she goes to forest school, she does clip and climb. So she does lots of things on a kind of weekly or every other weekly basis.
There's no reason why a parent can't enter their children for a GCSE or the next exam up. That shouldn't be a snag. And they can get the copy of the curriculum and follow it. And then that child, in fact, would have some sort of discipline in there because they would have to follow that curriculum if they wanted to pass that exam.
To do A-levels, you just enrol in the college. And the colleges don't seem to be that strict if you've got the knowledge of a subject. And it's the same with university. Some kids just decide they're ready to go to school at 15 to go and do GCSEs in a school setting because they want to go down that traditional route. There's no worry in that, basically. If Bluebell gets to the age that she wants to go to university or college and do A-levels or school or GCSEs, there are several ways of doing it.
In school, the main thing is that they are part of a group, and a large group. And you can argue that that is a big advantage because they have to learn how to be part of a group. They'll meet children who are a lot poorer than them. They might meet children who are a lot richer. They'll meet children who have different lifestyles. And I think this is a very important part of education. Children with different religions too.
I got on just fine at school, but I don't feel like it helped me develop my passion. The thing about home education is that it gives the children the time to discover what they're really interested in. So we just try and expose them to as many different subjects. So, you know, they're doing quite high-level science. When we take them to the science class, it's run by some home ed mums who have got PhDs, essentially, in science and maths, and they're just brilliant. There's a lot about diggers and tractors, don't you? All different types.
Yeah.
What's your favourite one?
Tractor.
A tractor.
I was thinking about, you know, the disadvantages of being in a big group at school. Bullying, possibility of bullying, peer pressure, adverse peer pressure to do something else, all sorts of problems like that. And then I thought, well, but isn't that life? Isn't that an experience the child should have to somehow learn to deal with? And a good school and a good teacher should be able to spot signs of bullying and should be able to deal with it. So, you know, but I could understand those parents' point of view.
Yeah, except can you do the timer? I cannot do that.
You can't do the timer. Okay.
I can do everything else but the timer.
Okay, it's fine. Absolutely. I think that home education is not actually the perfect way. I actually think a school that allows children to follow their own interests but has very high levels of adult supervision could be more beneficial, but also you would still miss out on the interaction with the real world. So maybe like something like that, 2 days a week would be great. So they still get lots of time with their family, lots of time interacting with the real world, lots of time for museum visits and days out in the park and playing. I mean, the research shows that playing is what kids need. especially at this age. The children aren't being supported, they're not being emotionally coached, they're not being taught how to handle difficult situations. And one of the really nice things about home education is that we actually coach our children on how to handle situations. So if they fall out with their friend, we talk about it, we talk about how their friend is feeling, so they learn to see, the theory of mind. They get to understand that other people feel things differently than they do, and we get to do that from a young age. A lot of home educating children that we hang out with have what I would call very high emotional intelligence, because they are taught about empathy, and they are taught about, they're taught to name their feelings from a young age, so they understand what they're feeling when they have an argument with their friends, and they're taught what their friends might be feeling. And I think that, a teacher can't do that. They just can't. Even with the best will in the world, they've got 30
And they do
children.
have the best will in the world, I think, most of the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
The problem is that today the government has made education very rigid and is not allowing good teachers to teach how they know they should. And that is probably why a lot more people are turning to home tuition.
I've heard about Forest School from a outdoor education seminar that I went to, and thought, oh yeah, that looks good.
Because you were a primary school teacher?
I was, teaching in the classroom, and could see that it was a really good thing for the children to do. So I found out about it, and I got a grant to pay for the training, and then started doing it in the school with one class a week, and gradually built it up. So now I do 3 classes every week. The children are learning by just playing and being in the woods, and there's so much research about how good it is just being outside in a natural setting for our physical and mental well-being. And they learn how to take risks, manage their own risks. They're keeping an eye on them by the water.
But it's floating nicely. Oh, nice.
Well, you can go a lot of different places and learn different things outdoors and indoors, and it's a bit easier than just being given sheets of paper and told what to do on a whiteboard. Instead, you actually get to meet with more people instead of just being thrown in a classroom with a lot of children that some of you don't like. More friends, and a lot more things.
Advantages to homeschooling, that you get to allow your child to follow their interests wherever they may lead them, and they find their passions in life, and I get to share it, and I get to learn alongside him, which is also wonderful. I think in a traditional setting, I think it's difficult to allow them to do that, because you have one teacher teaching maybe 30 children, and so they would have to find another system of doing it, because it would be hard for the teacher to follow every single child's different interests, because they're also varied and they're also individual. So I think the way the traditional schooling system is set up, it wouldn't work.
Well, I'm taking myself anywhere I go, never left behind by my heart and soul. Never was one to stay one place so long. You and me had a lot of chemistry, but there's too many dreams alive inside of me. So I'd sure like to see you come along. Baby, we belong. Ooh, up in Kalamazoo. Ooh, down in Chattanooga. Ooh, and my dreams are true. Baby, you come